Multiplying radical expressions. First, you want to distribute terms if necessary. Then for each term, rewrite whole numbers next to each other and rewrite radicands under the same root. And then simplify. Here we have multiplication of 4 radical 5 times 3 radical 2. All of these are factors of the same term. Let's say I have 2 times 3 times 5. This is the same as 5 times 2 times 3 or 3 times 5 times 2. Because order does not matter. This becomes 6 times 5 equals to, this becomes 10 times 3. That's a 30 equals to 30. This is also the same as 3 times 5 times 2, which is 15 times 2, and it's still 30 equals to 30. So I'm going to rewrite these terms next to each other. So I'm going to say 4 times 3 times radical 5 times radical 2. This becomes 12. Now, just like before you were able to break the radical, this time I'm going to combine the radical. I'm going to multiply radicands together. 5 times 2, and this simplifies into 12 radical 10. And this is our solution. So here we have square root of 5 times square root of 10a, and this will become 1 radical 5 times 10a, which is square root of 50a, and I know there is a perfect square that goes into 50, which is 25 times 2 will give us 50 back. 25 is 5 to the second. Square root and the second power will cancel. Now we have 5 radical 2a, and this is our solution. Now here we have square root of 5 outside of the parentheses. So first thing we have to do is to distribute the square root of 5. And for distribution, first step is to copy the inside of the parentheses, square root of 2 plus square root of 3, and I'm going to distribute the square root of 5. Now I'm going to bring each of the radicands under the same root, so we have square root of 5 times 2 plus square root of 3 times 5, and this becomes square root of 10 plus square root of 15. These are not like terms, so this is our solution. Here we have square root of 6 times the sum of square root of 3 and square root of 10. So the first step is to copy the inside of the parentheses. We have radical 3 plus radical 10, and we are distributing this square root of 6, square root of 6, square root of 6. So this will become square root of 6 times 3 plus square root of 6 times 10. So we have square root of 18 plus square root of 60. Largest perfect square that goes into 18 is 9 times 2 plus largest perfect square that goes into 60 will be 4 times 15. This becomes square root of 3 to the second radical 2 plus square root of 2 to the second radical 15. Second power and square root cancel, second power and square root cancel. So this becomes 3 radical 2 plus 2 radical 15. And this is my solution. Now on the second step, I already knew I will have perfect squares in there because 6 is 2 times 3. So out of that multiplication, I had 2 factors of 3. And from the second term, I knew that 6 is 2 times 3 as before, and 10 is 2 times 5, So I had 2 factors of 2 over here. You can simplify it this way also. Let's rewrite the inside of the parentheses. So we have 2 radical 6 plus 5 radical 15. I'm going to distribute the square root of 3 and I'm going to put it next to the radicals. So we have square root of 3, square root of 3. So now we have 2 radical 6 times 3 plus 5 radical 15 times 3. So now we have 2 square root 6 is 2 times 3 times 3. This is just another way of simplifying radicals. Plus 5 radical 15 is 5 times 3 times that 3. So we have 2. I have 2 factors of 3, so that's 3 to the second times that leftover 2 plus 5. I have 2 factors of 3, so that's 3 to the second times 5. Square root and the second power cancel, square root and the second power cancel. So we have 2 times 3 radical 2 plus 5 times 3 radical 5. And now we have 6 radical 2 plus 15 radical 5. And this is our solution. So here we have to distribute again. So first step, copy the parentheses. So we have 2 radical A plus 3 radical B. We need to distribute 3 radical B and 3 radical B. This is all multiplication. So in the next step, I'm just going to rewrite my factors. We get 3 times 2 radical B times radical A plus 3 times 3 radical B times radical B. All I did was just rewrite my factors. Now I'm going to multiply. 3 times 2 we have 6 square root of AB plus 3 times 3 we have 9 square root of B times B is B to the second. Second power and square root will cancel. So we have 6 radical AB plus 9B. And this is my solution. Here we have negative 2 radical x times the difference between square root of x and 8 radical 5. So the first thing is to rewrite the inside of the parentheses, square root of x minus 8 radical 5, distributing this negative 2 radical x, negative 2 radical x. So we have positive times negative, negative 2 radical of x times x is x to the second. We have negative times negative plus 2 times 8 radical of 5 times x. Square root and the second power will cancel. So we have negative 2x plus 2 times 8, 16, square root of 5x. And this is our solution. Multiplying square root of 6 times 5 radical 12 minus 4 radical 3. First thing, copy the inside of the parentheses. So we have 5 radical 12 minus 4 radical 3. Now I'm going to distribute square root of 6. 5 times. Now I know that there is a 6 in 12, which is 6 times 2 times this 6. And the reason I'm doing this way, so I don't have to work with huge numbers. Minus 4 radical 3, and I know that 6 is 3 times 2. So now we have 5. 6 times 6 is 6 to the second times square root of 2 minus 4. 3 times 3 is 3 to the second times square root of 2. Square root and the second power cancel, square root and the second power cancel. So we have 5 times 6 radical 2 minus 4 times 3 radical 2. That's a 30 radical 2 minus 12 radical 2. We have like terms, so we have 30 minus 12 of square root of 2. And this simplifies into 18 square root of 2. And this is our solution. That's all.